Hello, namaste everyone. Har Har Mahadev. Happy Sawan. So, Sawan has started. Now it's the month of Mahadev. So, let's celebrate it with utmost excitement and welcoming the blessings, the showers of Mahadev. Now, today I am here to discuss about Rahu's transit in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. Although we have had the true transit, but the actual transit of Rahu Ketu has happened on 2nd of August 2026. Now it actually has is going to be in the nakshatra of Dhanishta for a longer period of time. But in this video, we are here to discuss about being in the nakshatra of Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius. So please, the ones who have planets in the nakshatra of Dhanishta onto the side of Capricorn, please don't try to resonate this placement with your Capricorn placement. We are just talking about Aquarius. Rahu being in Dhanishta in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. As soon as it will reach into the zodiac sign of Capricorn and on the Dhanishta side, we'll discuss about that later. All right. So before we move ahead, if you guys are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon below. For your personal readings, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmolastrology.com. Under reading and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Under the courses section, you can sign up for online courses. All right, so let's get started with this video about Rahu in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. Now, I want you people to understand this particular video with utmost clarity because of the reason that this particular transit of Rahu in the nakshatra of Dhanishta is actually a very complex transit to have. I am not saying that Rahu in the nakshatra of Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius is complex itself as a placement. But I am saying that right now within the transit, it is a complex transit, and we can expect duality into this transit's results. Why I'm saying so? Understand the technicality behind it. Rahu is entering Dhanishta. For the span of time it will be in Dhanishta onto the sign of Aquarius, it will have the dispositor to be retrograde. Saturn will be retrograde for that duration into the zodiac sign of Pisces and the nakshatra of Revati. At the same time, we have Rahu entering into Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius. Both the zodiac signs have one thing in common, which is to decide the welfare of public at large, of communities, organizations, rights of others, benefit or welfare of others. Right? So, how both of these, like Aquarius zodiac sign and Saturn going retrograde in Revati, stands for the same focus. But we have a different energy in both the zodiac signs. We have Rahu onto one side, we have Saturn onto another side. Rahu's placement of being in Aquarius is not, has been being influenced by Saturn already, right? Because it's the dispositor. But now, since it is entering a new nakshatra, along with that, we have the dispositor going retrograde for the same span of time. And even if we'll calculate or if we'll predict through the Muhurat chart, we will have Saturn retrograde at that point. So that means what is going to be, the meaning? That's what is important. So Rahu will perform its karma being in Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius, but this particular karma is going to be facing constant challenge, constant retrospection, instant karma because of Saturn being retrograde at the same time. So it's like Rahu is trying to achieve its placement, its karma, its transformation within Dhanishta, within Aquarius. But Saturn, on the other hand, being retrograde, is intensifying the effect. So if Rahu in your chart would represent a major obstacle regarding this particular placement, Saturn is going to amplify that particular obstacle. It is going to constantly, one after another, give you those obstacles. But in case if your natal chart suggests and Rahu is in certain houses, like in the third house, sixth house, 10th house, 11th house, where Rahu actually feels powerful, especially in the Upacha houses, then this Rahu can actually help you desire or help you achieve your desires. It can help you put in the right structure. So that's why I need everyone to understand this particular transit with respect to how it is going to influence you if you are watching this for yourself. Because otherwise, this can be a very, very confusing transit because we have dualities into it. Rahu is trying to achieve a different set of karma, and Saturn being retrograde is giving it a constant, rush, a constant karma. All right. So now let's start from the scratch to understand Rahu's placement. First of all, we have the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the 11th sign. 11th house is about our social circle. It's our friend circle, friendships, not the closest ones, but the ones we have as in a society. It's the circle we move in. It's the kind of recognition we desire. This is the zodiac sign which is involved, which represents technology, science, scientific knowledge, research. It is surveillance as well. Because what society is about? Society is about putting a structure. Society is about people becoming a network and connecting with each other. Society is about formulation of communities, formulation of organizations. So that's what the 11th house is going to represent, and the 11th sign of Aquarius is going to represent. Now, know the fact that Aquarius is co-ruled by Rahu. So we already have the influence of Saturn and Rahu into the zodiac sign of Aquarius, which makes it extreme rebel, stubborn, but very futuristic. So it's a progressive sign. It's a sign which desires growth and actually walks on the path of growth. This particular zodiac sign is fixated. It's actually fixed. But at the same time, it thrives for growth. It thrives for ambition. It fights for a cause, or it helps for a cause. So, zodiac sign of Aquarius is indeed in itself quite transformative. Due to its co-rulership of Rahu, it does talk about new innovations. It does talk about growth. It's not stagnant. It's not, it's fixed in its nature, but it's not fixed in its outcome. Okay, so Aquarius represents the organizations, it represents the circle we move in, it represents the society, the communities. Also, these, protests that we have, whenever there's a fact of helping, donating, doing the philanthropy work, helping others, doing something for the welfare of others, all of it is Aquarius. Our gains, our desires, our futuristic thinking is the 11th house, or it's the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Now we are having Rahu here. So that has already given us a karma over a period of 1.5 year, that the focus has shifted upon gaining, about being recognized, right? Now, when Rahu's energy has come into the zodiac sign, the journey of recognition has somehow been influenced by some selfishness of Rahu, which is about being an influencer rather than a helper, being able to influence the population rather than just getting merely recognized. So, Rahu is what? Rahu is a very explosive energy. Rahu is the endless hunger. Rahu is a perfectionist as well. But Rahu is the obsession also. Rahu is the overthinking also, over analyzing the theme of the zodiac sign also, which makes Rahu commit unnecessary mistakes and create unnecessary obstacles also. Right? Rahu is the illusionist. Rahu is the planet which doesn't want to just stay in the present and achieve, but it wants to move forward, be like a frontier train. Just, move forward, and grab everything that it can. That's the energy of Rahu. So, Rahu coming into the zodiac sign of Aquarius, I'll just attach a tagline here that Rahu being into the zodiac sign of Aquarius is like that I want to be recognized. And along with that, I want the society to be benefited of the same as well. So here, Rahu makes a person obsessed about recognition, obsessed about completion of their desires. Why? Because that will be huge in their mind. If they have, if Rahu has come into the zodiac sign of Aquarius, we have expanded our desires, we have expanded our wishes, we have expanded our domains, we have started taking risks that we haven't thought that we will be able to take. That's the growth that happens into the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And when Rahu comes there, it makes you, it makes you have a bit of experiment. It makes you have a bit of risk taking ability into that zodiac sign. So Rahu was doing that. Rahu was making people have a major chunk of their recognition, at the same time benefiting the large population, the society also out of it. Now this Rahu is actually coming into the nakshatra of Dhanishta. Now, whenever I think about the nakshatra of Dhanishta, and especially let's just talk about the side of Aquarius, then I know that this Dhanishta thrives for growth in terms of technology, growth in terms of some certain rules, regulations that are established for the welfare of the society. See, Dhanishta is said to be a nakshatra which is never at peace, but at the same time, it's a constant work. It's a constant karma that goes on. This is the nakshatra of the Ashtavasus, right? That's why this nakshatra actually is about long-term wealth. It's about long-term structure. But Aquarius is about the planning of the structure. The actual structure is onto the side of the Capricorn, where Dhanishta falls. So Rahu into the zodiac sign of Aquarius in the nakshatra of Dhanishta would desire that I need to establish the structure. And if that structure I'm not able to decide or I'm not able to implement easily, I am going to use any sort of task. I am going to use any sort of power, whether I'm using my power or I'm misusing my power, but I am going to make it happen. That is what Rahu in Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius would mean. That now Rahu wants to bring in structure, but this is not actually building the structure, but it's about implementing that it must start. So that's the reason protests happen. That's the reason people come out as a collective team and go against someone, against an organization. So, till the time Rahu is in the nakshatra of Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius, we can see people rebelling in groups, not just a singular person, but people rebelling in groups so as to make innovative changes, so as to initiate innovative changes. But definitely, the actual structure would come once Rahu enters into the zodiac sign of Capricorn, because that's about laying the foundation. Here, it's about influencing the surrounding. It's about giving them some information that is going to get over their head. It's about making the groups. Although it's not that this Rahu is going to influence negatively or positively. See, on a mundane level, we can decide whether it's negatively influencing or positively influencing. Like I said, that in both the matters, in negative and positive, Saturn is behind it. Saturn is attaching a string, with Rahu. And whenever Saturn feels, when it gets retrograde, it becomes extra cautious. So whenever Rahu will try to do something with bad motive or something which is harmful, Saturn will push it. Saturn will take it back to where it needs to be. Saturn will put Rahu in its place. That's because Saturn is retrograde right now. If Saturn would not be retrograde, it might take time to actually take it back and stop harmfully influencing. But since it is retrograde, it's like we people have to be very, very careful and cautious of instant karma. That's in the simplest language what I can tell. So that's why this Rahu being in the nakshatra of Dhanishta, see, in your chart, it depends how your natal Saturn is. What are the planets placed in the zodiac sign of Aquarius, and wherever, where in whichever house this particular Rahu is transiting. But trust me, wherever this Rahu is coming into your chart, it has already been in that domain. But now coming into Dhanishta, it's like it is going to clutter the whole foundation of that house so as to rebuild it from the scratch. And it won't come with peace, because nothing happens with Dhanishta Nakshatra peacefully. Now, when we are talking about peace, why doesn't anything happens with Dhanishta Nakshatra with peace? Because this nakshatra actually is the representation of the drums and the flutes. So we play drums and the flutes while we have to celebrate or we have to welcome someone. Or it can do, if it goes excessive, it can even be the noise pollution. So there are two sides to it. Now we have Rahu here. Rahu can actually be quite strict when it is in the Dhanishta Nakshatra, because here it is being influenced by the energy of Mars. It is amplifying the strict commanding energy of Mars. And this drums, these drums and flutes are not just merely the drums that a person is playing, but it's actually the rhythm. It's actually the teamwork. When you play an instrument, if suppose one instrument is being played, it has started earlier, then another instrument is being started afterwards, and they are not in the rhythm. Are you going to enjoy it? No. You're definitely going to feel that is a noise pollution being created, and it is going to feel uneasy in your, head, in your ears, in your mind. That's why there's a need to bring a rhythm. And how that happens? That happens with teamwork. So Rahu being in Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius, Rahu wants to bring in that rhythm with which it can bring the collective onto one decision or onto one platform. And here, since we have the dispositor Saturn to be retrograde, every time the disharmony would come in, retrograde Saturn would give its karma. So it's better to think wisely, to think and act accordingly for what you would desire the future to look like. That's what Rahu in Dhanishta into this zodiac sign means. So that's why it becomes a very important nakshatra. It becomes a very important transit. Because it's like Saturn is being the teacher, and it's the invigilator, it's the teacher who is sitting upon your head. And now Rahu is like very careful. Like Rahu is feeling that I'm being restricted by this Saturn. I'm not being able to, rebel or do my all the clever shenanigans to achieve what I want. So, regardless of the fact that Rahu feels so comfortable and so free into the zodiac sign of Aquarius to fulfill its karma or to achieve whatever it wants at any cost by doing any shenanigan. But during this particular transit, these particular months, this Rahu will feel the restriction. It will not be able to act or move as freely as it has done previously. So now, trust me on this, no one would be able to protest for wrong reasons or with wrong motives. People have to come out collectively, but for the right agenda, for the right changes to be made. Otherwise, Saturn would instantly give them a difficult karma. And you know how that karma is going to play out? One simplest thing that is going to be happening, either it's on the mundane level or it's on the personal level, is that Saturn will give karma due to carelessness, due to ignorance, due to oblivionness or missing out on something. Because it's affecting your subconscious along with the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And how the subconscious is going to play its difficulty or little obstacles that we can think of by doing something without thinking much or by making unnecessary mistakes, little mistakes which our conscious mind misses. All right. So in a crux, you can understand that this is the result we are going to have of Rahu being in Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius. Now, little bit I want to explain about this nakshatra more, which I think is more, valuable and more valid onto the side of Capricorn. But it has to give a bit of results, or it is actually going to trigger the results being in Aquarius. So, this nakshatra this nakshatra's deity is the Ashtavasus. So the Ashtavasus being the deity of this nakshatra, there is a karmic pattern which is attached to Ashtavasus, the curse that they were given, that all of them will die rather than just one Vasu who is going to take the birth in this realm and has to, deal with the earthly karma. Right? So that's the reason when Rahu is here in this nakshatra, you will have to deal with all the elements present in that house. You cannot ignore anything. You will feel that wherever your Aquarius zodiac sign is, Now, slowly, steadily, this is not going to be something all of a sudden. This might be you have started feeling, but something has arisen, something has taken life into that house. So, one after another, you are dealing with agitation, irritation, and one after another task, events, circumstances regarding that house. And those are going to feel very uncomfortable. Those are not going to feel totally comfortable and totally peaceful. It's definitely going to disturb your peace and affect you drastically. Another thing, that the drums is actually also the representation of the Damaru that is in the hand of Lord Shiva. Now, this Damaru is basically, Lord Shiva plays this Damaru while he's dancing, whether he's dancing out of joy or he's dancing out of his Rudra avatars. Right. So either that Damaru represents the transformation after a storm, or that Damaru represents celebration. Either of two are bound to happen wherever the Aquarius is present. So the situation of the celebration would be that you are able to achieve your goal, your, designation in regards of that house. The another side to it would be the transformation that a person would have, good or bad, because of the circumstances attached to that house. And this Damaru also represents the Shiv Shakti, that both the sides are equally important. There are two equivalent sides. It's like a time, what do we call it? The sand time, something. I don't know. It's not coming into my mind, but you people would know what I'm talking about. So it's the equal sides. These equal sides represent that both the sides of a coin are important. Both the sides are equally important. So both the sides, what would it represent onto the side of Aquarius? That your welfare and the welfare of the people who are attached to you or the collective society. See, whenever I'm saying about society, it's actually the people who are attached to you or in your surroundings in any way. Be it be your family, be it be your friend circle, be it be your relatives, be it be anyone, but the people you connect with. So, your motive, your goal is also important, but at the same time, your karma towards the society, towards the people in your surrounding is equally important. That's what this Damaru represents. Now, another thing that attaches to this nakshatra is the oath. The oath that was taken by Bhishma Pitama, the oath of celibacy, the oath of actually the protection. And since the animal associated with this nakshatra is also tigress, right? So it actually talks about protection. It actually talks about protecting your agenda, protecting your goals, protecting your security, your futuristic desires, protecting your present desires as well. So Rahu here wants to achieve all of these factors that we discussed, but with the constant pressure of Saturn. That's why it's hard to do any mistake. But on the other side, on the contrary, if any mistake happens, if anything goes out of the box, out of your own personal selfishness or your own personal influence, which is negatively influencing the actual agenda, that will make you suffer on the spot. All right. So I think this is the actual explanation that you must know before you actually know the predictions that this is going to make into its transit. So I wanted to explain this deeply first because I think the explanation matters more than the predictions, Because once you understand the explanation, you yourself can interpret so many other predictions, right? Because eventually we all have the human mind, right? Some things I can miss, but some things you guys can interpret way better than me, right? So this Rahu in into this nakshatra of Dhanishta is going to bring the talks or the implementation of rules, regulations, or anything which influences it or brings in a digital structure onto technologies. So we may also experience restriction for AI, restriction of unnecessary spreading of information and knowledge. So AI or the structure of AI can be well structured now that not everyone has an access to it and can misuse it. This could be the major thing that can take place on the mundane level for this whole duration while Rahu is in the zodiac sign of Aquarius and in Dhanishta. And we may also see very good and promising technological changes as a part of innovation. There can be protests, but at the same time, there can be decluttering of unnecessary protests and walking and accomplishing the right changes that are to be made in the political sense, in the political environment or into the politics, right? And or even into the constitutions. All right. And I do feel that there is going to be some sense of structuring of finances of the government as well. So we may experience some settling or re-analyzing and restructuring taxations or the way the money is being collected by the governments. Right? So we actually can see a lot of troubles happening, a lot of warlike situations happening because that's what Dhanishta stands for. But at the same time, the unnecessary element which is adding on to the fuel, the unnecessary fuel which is being added on into the fire, that is going to be altered. Right? And on the individual level, wherever your zodiac sign of Aquarius falls, that particular house is going to create so much of obstacles for you because you will have to deal with the matters of that particular house. You will have to deal with the fights, with the protection, with your oath of your responsibility towards that house. In a way, you will require to structure that house. So it is important that you start it right way so that you can get good fruits, or at least you can avoid unnecessary karma, unnecessary conflicts in regards of that house. So certain zodiac signs actually will have to be far more careful than the others because Dhanishta is not an easy nakshatra to deal with. See, earlier we had Satabashrag, that was different. Purva Bhadrapada is also as fierce as Dhanishta. But Dhanishta, because it falls in two different zodiac signs, it has different intensities attached to it. Right now, we are dealing with the more of a rebel kind, and then we'll be dealing with more of a strict kind and more of a restrictive kind, right? So, this was the understanding of Rahu in the nakshatra of Dhanishta for the remaining months of 2026. Now, let's talk about how this is going to influence to each and every individual based on their zodiac signs, right? So, just for the knowledge, first look for your ascendant zodiac sign and then look for your moon zodiac sign, which is known as your Rashi. Both are going to be equally important, but go in this sequence so as to have understand the flavor of these predictions. All right, so let's get started. Now let's start with the Muhurat chart. So for the Muhurat chart, we have Rahu transiting in Dhanishta while it is conjunct with Moon in the fifth house. And we have Saturn retrograde right ahead of it into the zodiac sign of Pisces in the sixth house. So see how this gets very well connected. But I think this time around, the transit of Rahu in a nakshatra is very influenced psychologically and not just circumstantially. So I think the major because we need not to forget that Rahu's transit would explode the energy of that nakshatra and ultimately make that energy transform into growth. Because that's what the transit of Rahu does. Even if we study the transit of Rahu in a particular house, we know that it is going to bring in obstacles, it is going to bring in illusions, it is going to bring in explosive energy, the obsessive energy. And then it will grow it will transform it. You rebel from the significance of that area because you choose yourself on that, in regards of that area. So, considering the fact that Rahu is going to enter Dhanishta onto the side of Aquarius, it will break the structure so as to rebuild the accurate structure. So, psychologically, it's very transforming. Since it's happening in the fifth house in the Prashna, it is going to change the complete understanding of all of us human beings. It is going to change the complete understanding, the complete way of how we take decisions, how we even invest money, because fifth house is about investments, it's about knowledge, it's about education, right? So it is going to change the complete dynamic of investments, education, knowledge, our reactions, our decision-making power, and the way we make decisions. All these dynamics are going to ultimately change, and we will choose a better option of it, a better structure into it. Only first, the structure would go away. The structure would be unrecognizable or cluttered altogether. And then it will form a digital structure to it. So it's kind of very, very rebellious, this particular, you know, this particular transit of Rahu coming into Dhanishta. And on the other hand, this energy is bringing in a lot of lessons of learning the dedication towards one's goals in the form of, like, since it is Dhanishta, it's about the oath that a person takes. So it's the oath towards our goals, it's the oath towards the benefit of others and including ourselves. Right? So this Rahu being in Dhanishta in the fifth house with moon is actually showing us that. All right. So now starting for the zodiac sign of Libra, Rahu is transiting in Dhanishta in the fifth house. So absolutely, definitely, you are going to face struggles with your children. You're going to face struggles even with your education. your love matters, your romantic self. And indeed, this is a time which is actually making you quite obsessed or quite disturbed emotionally, like with your emotional intelligence. And there was one thing I think I have been telling yet again and again with the Rahu's transit in your fifth house for Libra individuals, that Rahu in the fifth house makes a person obsess over investments, especially like quick gains, quick results. In that manner, a person tends to go into gambling, betting, or anything of that sort. Even if you are desiring to gain, quickly through shares, in fact, as well, that's what the Rahu in the fifth house energy brings. It basically, makes you go in a loop. Right. So first thing is there that since Rahu is in Dhanishta in your fifth house, it will make you a bit of obsessed with bringing in structure into your investments. And for that, it will first it can give you karma, or it can give you certain losses if you desire to get quick results or quick money through your investments. So, be very careful of where you are investing. Be very careful of how you're not being unnecessarily influenced. Just because, a person is able to get more money, it doesn't mean that you are also going to get the same. And, this is the trick of Rahu. It once will give you good gains so as to lure you. And once you go into the greed, it is going to take that money away from you. So I always tell when Rahu travels through the fifth house, try to, if you, because naturally you'll find the inclination towards investments. So invest into the right source. Invest into long term shares, long term things, or buy gold, something that you know that is going to be untouched, not going to give you results overnight, but will give you massive results in the future. Right? Another thing is that fifth house represents your education. So if you are currently a student, you will feel the hardest time to actually concentrate completely for your education. Somehow, somewhere, you will be coming across certain obstacles within your, exams, your concentration, or anything of that sort. And especially if there are certain planets in your fifth house, or if it is your natal moon in the fifth house, the romance or romantic encounter or a relationship could be a cause of it. So do not let your goals be compromised because of your love situation, because love situation definitely doesn't seem healthy. There's so much of outgrowing of out of love just for the sake of loving yourself, or choosing to act differently when you are in love. That's the kind of situation I see for Libra individuals. Another thing is that Rahu in the fifth house can even give you the birth of a child or the conception as well. But for very few fraction, it can trouble you within the pregnancy, or it can, trouble you with the childbirth process, because ultimately we have the nakshatra of Dhanishta here. It's like, the story, if you remember, it's about eight children not being able to make it, and the eighth one was able to make it. It's not like literally it is going to happen like that, but it does give sense of obstacles, right? Sense of delays when it comes to the birth of the child, right? If you are expecting so it's for very less fraction, only if there are certain planets there, or certainly they are affecting, or even it depends on your antardasha, pratyantardasha as well, right? And another thing is you will be highly reactive during this time. The highly reaction is because of the intense energy of Mars coming into the fifth house with Rahu's presence in this nakshatra. It's like something else is bothering your mind, is bothering you altogether, and that is becoming the reason of you not feeling at peace. And even this could trigger anxiety, trigger obsessive thinking or overthinking as well. In some cases, in very few some cases, this could even lead to addiction, and not the healthy addiction. All right. So for the individuals with Libra zodiac sign as their ascendant or as their moon, it's very important for you to meditate. It's very important for you to deviate your energy in the right direction, because otherwise it is going to get over your head and it is going to affect negatively and make you take stupid decisions. Right? So have a balanced energy over there. Do not go overboard with your thinking. Do not go underboard and do careless mistakes. Rather, just try to bring in a balance. If you want to seek someone's help, I would definitely recommend that you should. Especially based on this particular alignment of transits, I feel your father would be the best person, or someone from your father's family, paternal family. For some people, it would be the best person, they would be the best person, and even your mother to ask for guidance. All right. Now, next we have the zodiac sign of Scorpio. So, for Scorpio individuals, we have Rahu transiting in the nakshatra of Dhanishta in the fourth house. Now, see, Rahu, when it is in the fourth house, transiting in the fourth house, I call it as a very bechain, uh, placement. It's a very impatient placement. Although Rahu in the fourth house can actually give you the ability to have a very enjoyable time where you choose your comfort over your duties for once and for all. But this Rahu is actually troubling your heart space. It is not giving you patience. It's actually making you put yourself into situations where you have to act as if the foundation of your heart and the stability of your life is on track, although it's not. There's a whole storm which is happening within your heart. It's a whole storm which is going within you, which is unexplainable, right? So Rahu in the fourth house, it is going to change you drastically emotionally. It is going to change you drastically with your priorities when it's about your happiness and yourself. And this particular transformation is going to be triggered because of the change of dynamics within the home. For the matter where when Rahu is in Dhanishta, you can experience a lot of trouble and war-like situations within your home space. It's like home has become, although we do have moon here, but there's a sense of rebelliousness that is there with this fourth house where a person needs to move out of the home. They need to freshen themselves up, because everything and anything that is happening within your home is basically agitating you. That's the Dhanishta energy. So it's like you have to go through vulnerability with your emotions. You have to go through intense side of your emotions, frustration, irritation, so that you can actually bring a structure to know about what your happiness is, what your comfort is. So this Rahu's transit in your 4,000 Dhanishta is about trying to build a virtual structure of your home, which doesn't just involve, for some people, they might be rebuilding their home. So they might be doing that, structural work, mapping work for their home, that, okay, that is how we are going to design it. That is how we are going to have everything, like, discussing of all the vastu and everything, right? So that could also be there for many people, but it's also about the way the dynamics of the home are, right? And the specific trouble Although we do see the trouble is going to be related to the home and home environment, the specific trouble could be between you and your mother. There's some heavy karma with the mother that you have to pay off here. So it's going to be a very rebellious, very having two very different opinion and not being able to understand or come to one conclusion. That's the kind of situation that we have here with Rahu and Dhanishta in the fourth house. Right? So this is a very, very intense time for Scorpio individuals, for their peace of mind, for their home stability, for in fact their own stability of life, and which involves every area. Along with that, you may even face some problems in regards of properties or property related disputes or something of that sort because Dhanishta is being affected here with Rahu. All right. It's like you have to rebudget the money matters or rebudget your or reanalyze your inheritance or the money factor, the fixed assets, something of that sort. All right. Now, next, we have the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. So, for Sagittarius individuals, Rahu is in the third house and in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. See, third house is of the communication. So, definitely, you are choosing to rebel in your communication. It's like anything and everything is happening in your surroundings. Your reaction is coming like that. Your irritation is coming like that. So it's a very Rahu in the third house makes you fear your fears as well. And with Dhanishta, it's about facing your fears so that they are no longer the fears you have. Because having Moon and Rahu in the third house, that's so much assumptuous, that's so cutthroat, that's so abruptive. It might be very sneaky, but with the presence of the nakshatra of Dhanishta, it's more out there, it's more blunt, it's more impulsive, it's the energy of Mars. It's like you have to start something from scratch. You have to start building your efforts all over again. You have to start building your responsibilities all over again. You have to start building your skills all over again. It's like you are feeling that these skills that I have, they're not enough. I need to have more and more and more. But you know, one thing, as I said previously in the explanation, that Rahu in certain houses, especially in Upacha houses, is actually going to perform well here, although it is in Dhanishta. But we cannot forget that Dhanishta is going to bring everything with disturbance. So, first of all, it can give you immense disturbance with your siblings. And trust me, here it's not about elder sibling or younger sibling. It's your relationship with your siblings, with your close friends as well. You're bound to have disturbance there because of power struggles, because of selfishness, because either they are going to project their selfishness within the friendship, within the siblinghood, or either it's you who is going to choose now to think about yourself rather than them. So it's a very, very rebellious Rahu, which is there in the third house. It's getting very irritated in Dhanishta, but at the same time, it's trying to rebuild a nice structure within one's skills, one's efforts, and one's preparation for stability. Right? So now this, this also means that it can even bring some sort of delay and problems within your travels as well. Because the third house is the house of travel. And with communication, I think Sagittariuses are going to be so ready to fight, so ready to retaliate, so ready to debate. Like they're all ready. You just need to go and poke them. That's the kind of situation this Rahu in Dhanishta is going to create for Sagittarius individuals. Now we have the zodiac sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn individuals, Rahu is in the second house in Dhanishta. This is the time for you to rebel against your family and family dynamics. It's the time you're facing a bit of a struggle because you have chosen to take a risk or you are unable to take risks for your exact goals. But there definitely is a sense of disturbance, sense of difficulty you are experiencing when it comes to money. It's like you're trying to structure your money, your savings, but it's a constant struggle to do that. But at the same time, you are making something beautiful out of the expenditure and out of the inability of saving money. Maybe suppose you have invested somewhere which requires a lot of money, which is requiring all your savings going out, right? But at the same time, it's a fixed asset. It's something that is going to give you long-term return, right? But on a whole, the major effect this particular Rahu coming into Dhanishta is giving into the dynamics of your household, in your home. So it's a very, Rahu when gets attached to certain houses like the second house, the fourth house, seventh house, and even the 10th house, it affects, and even the 11th house also, it affects your relationships. Because the second house is going to represent your family, fourth house your mother, even third house your siblings, seventh house your partner, 10th house your career dynamics, and 11th house your social circle. So eventually, Rahu coming over there, it is going to affect the relationship and bring in obstacles and fights and unnecessary debates over there. So it's like and one thing I would tell here is, because since Jupiter is also going to move into Ashlesha very, very pretty much soon, one thing I would say for especially Capricorn individuals that do not indulge into any artificial intelligence or AI stuff to handle your finances or to budget or to save your money, right? Don't allow the artificial intelligence to do so. Rather, you yourself be present over there to do so. Rest, this Rahu and Dhanishta is going to make you rebel, your family, and there's going to be lack of similar opinion, not being able to understand each other when it is about the family dynamics. Along with that, there's going to be unexpected expenses that you might have to bear, or there's going to be a constant struggle to save the money, in fact, as well. But the focus is going to be totally on your goals, on your monetary goals. That's the reason that this particular house is going to create a sense of, the house that is going to, make you lack peace. All right. But this is happening for good. This is happening for rebuilding the right structure, the right amount of exchange or ability to understand the dynamics of the family, right? But it can feel very struggling in the moment. Now, next we have the zodiac sign of Aquarius. For Aquarius individuals, we have Rahu transiting your first house in Dhanishta. There are certain issues with health or with your own personality that you have to deal with. I think Aquariuses are not having the best time. And especially with now Rahu moving into Dhanishta, it's like you're on the verge. You're feeling very irritated. You're feeling like you have to do certain things. You have to put up your command. You have to interfere into certain things. You have to get your hold and control back. That's the kind of situation this Rahu basically is creating. But Rahu coming into the first house, it's like the first house becomes very important. Not just for the reason it governs your nature, but also for the reason the first house is the source of how you are able to fulfill your karma. fulfill your purpose of birth into this world. So when Rahu comes there, your soul purpose gets a lot of illusion, gets a lot of difficulties. There can be hundreds of things you feel you have to do, but out of them, only one is actually aligned with your karma, with your life purpose. And that's the reason a person gets very confused. They start looking for numerous answers. And that's why they run to astrologers very much when Rahu comes into the first house. But it depends if you have Dhanishta into your first house, or if you have certain planets in Dhanishta in your first house, then only it is going to resonate the most. But definitely, Rahu in the first house not just wants you to structure everything in your surrounding, but it also wants you to structure yourself the first. So it's going to make you go into discipline, make you choose good choices, make you retaliate the criticism you are receiving, unnecessarily making you protect yourself, making to take certain oath for yourself. It's like you are choosing yourself over everything else. That's why your relationships are going to be on the verge. All right, so that's what we are going to see for Aquarius. Now, Pisces. For Pisces individuals, Rahu is in your 12th house in the Nishta, right? So, Rahu being in the 12th house, first of all, can affect your foreign travels, or it can affect your visa processes or legal processes as well. So, whether you are facing some legalities, right, this might give you a lot of obstacles into it, you know, till the time Ketu leaves your sixth house, because on leaving your sixth house, Ketu will immediately cut all the unnecessary disputes, debts, and unnecessary situations which are troubling you, right? But before that, Rahu being in your into your 12th house in Dhanishta, it's a lot of chaos which is on the subconscious level. It's like, I do feel many Pisces individuals, whenever they are in their alone zone, when they are trying to isolate themselves, first of all. And the second thing is that when they are sitting alone, their mind is just running. It's just running here and there with different thoughts, with so much of disturbance, and so much of disturbance because there is no system in certain matters. And your mind and your subconscious is telling you constantly that you need to do something to bring structure. You need to do something to improve the current situation. So that's obsessing your mind, although the action is balanced, action is structured. It's somehow not excessive. And that is also troubling the mind. Why it's structured? Because the Lord itself is going into the third house in a earthy sign, in a stable sign. But we can also feel, we can also understand or interpret about this that Pisces individual are not moving into the right direction with their effort and their action. That's the reason that this feeling of frustration is there. So please make sure that you're not reacting because of this obsessive thoughts, or because of this, you know, unnecessary thinking that you are getting, right? Because Rahu in the 12th house can actually create that. Another thing, I think, and this is for a few fraction of people with Pisces zodiac sign, with Rahu in the 12th house can make you break boundaries in your sexual relationship. So there can be for some people, there can be an affair out of the marriage. If you're not married, there can be a sexual encounter that you are going to have with which is going to be a little eccentric. Like, for example, you are a woman or you are even a man having a relationship with a very elder person than you, or you're having an affair with your boss or anyone who you think you should not have your a relationship with. Right? So that's for a very few fraction of Pisces. Let me tell you that, okay? But it does show that the possibility definitely is there. Rest depends on your natal chart. All right. So it can even trouble you with the travel or travel documentations as well. And it can even give you sudden expenses on the matter of provision. All right, now next we have the zodiac sign of Aries. For Aries individuals, we have Rahu transiting in Dhanishta Nakshatra in your 11th house. Sorry. It's a time where you are feeling very dissatisfied of how you are being recognized out there, how your energy is influencing others. So for that reason, it's like it's becoming too much when it's about you falling towards the 11th house matters, that yes, I need to get my recognition, I need to get my desire fulfilled. So it's like you're just not being able to see in all the directions, because Dhanishta is actually, because of the Ashtavasus, it's like the eight elements, the elemental gods, it's the eight directions as well. So because of Rahu is kind of creating a smoke in front of those directions. That's why a person feels directionless here. So this is a test of your presence in the society. You yourself are not feeling emotionally and psychologically very well connected with what you are connecting with the outer world. So that's why it's about, you are going to feel that there are going to be certain disturbances within your social circle, or you are trying, there's going to be some sense of power struggles with your friend circles, or even elder sibling, and that is going to lead towards distortment of relationships with your circle, with your elder sibling, and that is going to lead you to draw or to establish a new structure, right? And on this, at the same time, this Rahu in the 11th house can actually make you socially very active. At the same time, when you're too much into something, it can actually create a lot of obstacles or a lot of fights. When your energy is going so much into a certain direction, it can actually give you certain complications or fights or unnecessary problems attached to it as well. So that's the kind of situation I see within your 11th house, right? So with Rahu in Dhanishta in the 11th house also, I feel this is a kind of obsession that is making you react also very firmly and very abruptly. So that is also something which is creating a bit of negative situation for you, and especially for your personal relationships. Maybe this is working out for your professional relationship, but on the personal end, this is being compromised. All right. Although being having Rahu in the Nishta can actually make you do wonders and start, build something very good for long term. All right. Now, next comes the zodiac sign of Taurus. For Taurus individuals, we have Rahu in Dhanishta in the 10th house. So, there's definitely going to be power struggles and definite struggles with your authorities, with your bosses at your work, and even with your mother-in-law. Because 10th house is of mother-in-law, it's the father as well. So, you may experience a lot of rebelliousness with your mother-in-law and even your father as well. The opinions would not match, between you and them. And then this Rahu in the 10th house is actually where you are trying to restructure your career. You're trying to structure your career again because something feels off. Something doesn't feel very aligned when it comes to your career, when it comes to the way you are being out there, right? And it also is affecting your image in a way. This Rahu in the 10th house in Dhanishta is affecting your image out there in a different manner. So it is suggestive that it will be promising if, as a remedial measure, you fulfill certain social responsibilities, like do seva, do donations. But I think your seva would matter more than you just donating the money. And this also means Rahu coming into Dhanishta into the 10th house in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. It can even give you innovative ideas for your work. It can help you with re-establishing the stronger foundation, especially virtually, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career. Right? Now, also, this Rahu being in Dhanishta in the 10th house can give you troubles with the family of your father's side of the family. Also, it may affect the father in a way that he has to bring in structure into finances, or there are, talkings of, being able to structure his savings, his finances, or the materialistic wealth that he has, right? So that's also there. But overall, I think Rahu in Dhanishta here works for a particular growing, innovative goal, but the process is with obstacles. All right. Next, we have the zodiac sign of Gemini. For Gemini individuals, we have Rahu transiting the ninth house in Dhanishta in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So Rahu in the ninth house, this is a complete rebel. This is a complete rebel situation with not with some rigidity, right? So I think with Rahu in the ninth house, the way you understood where your actions were needed, where your morals, ethics were needed, that has transformed. You have understood your boundaries. You have understood how, you don't have to overgive, you don't have to overdo. So now you have become that person who has gone through all of those things and now has chosen to be direct, now has chosen to be very rigid with their perspective. So Rahu coming into the Nishta here is like you're trying to structure your ethics. And those are going to be rebellious. Those are going to be something which is not very in tuned to what people are expecting from you. But rather, it's more about what makes you happy. So that's the kind of situation this Rahu creates there. But in this particular thing, there can be the difficulties within your relationship with your father. And rather, I feel there is going to be difficulties within the relationship between you and your family altogether, with your mother as well. So I think it will take a lot of courage and a lot of you getting the side eye, or you getting the criticism that, oh, you are doing this, because you're breaking certain boundaries, you're breaking certain patterns. At the same time, this Rahu can also delay your travel, or it's like you're traveling to a space where you'll have to restructure everything. Like you're traveling to a new place, you have to start a new life. That's the kind of situation Rahu creates here. Also, this is a rebel mode where you will feel that you know everything, you know better, and nothing is, beyond nothing is that is not under your control, right? So Yeah, that's what we have for Geminis. And I also think that this will also give you opportunity of doing something related to your higher education, which you have been desiring since a long time, but you're not able to do. So it's like setting your goals in regards of higher knowledge, enhancing your skills and doing, maybe it's a short-term course, maybe it's a diploma, anything of that sort, but that has a possibility there. Now we have the next sign to be the zodiac sign of Cancer. So for Cancer individuals, we have Rahu transiting the eighth house in Dhanishta. Definitely for Cancer individuals, everything is changing for you. Everything. There can be relocation, there can be disturbance with your in-laws. Some Cancerians are having disturbance, like a lot of disturbance with the in-laws, not at all having similar opinions, a lot of rebelliousness, a lot of not being able to understand each other and each other's perspective. For that reason, there's going to be a depart or so many struggles, so many debates and arguments with the in-laws, because of which there can be relocation. For the ones who are not married, it's a complete change in the dynamics of your surroundings. So something in your surrounding is going to suddenly change and change drastically. Like now you have to try to adapt yourself into a new environment. That's why Rahu, when comes into the eighth house, we most prominently see a relocation. But since Rahu is coming in the eighth house and it's in Dhanishta, it's like you're trying to restructure your ideas which are connected with your finances, because Ketu is there in the second house for you. So the dynamics of you with your family, with your in-laws, if you have any, or the dynamics within your finances are going to absolutely change and would require to have the structure all over again. And definitely that is going to be a solo goal, that you have to bring certain structure in it. Now this moon and Rahu in the eighth house is also telling me that you are deeply involved into investigating certain stuff. And eighth house is actually also when you are involved into either researching something from the root or transforming something from the root. So there can be renovations in your, like, happening within your home, or there can be certain renovations within, within your inheritance, that, there's some sort of money, and there's definitely a difficulty of attaining inheritance. There's definitely lots and lots of struggles with the in-laws and with the inheritance matter and the inheritance issue. Right. So eighth house basically triggers all of those things, but definitely it is making you go into deep knowledge, learning about transformation and transforming your life itself as well, learning and researching about the deepest things so that you can do something, progressive, you can do something to complete your goals. But Rahu coming into Dhanishta in the eighth house, it's like also something is there that some secrets can surface and create a massive trouble or unnecessary fights kind of situation for you. So that is also something I think Cancerians would have to be careful of, because see, this is Moon and Rahu there. Either you are holding certain secrets since a very long time. It can even be your childhood trauma, and now you are planning to expose that out, or it's about like you are finding the courage to take that out, or it's about that there has been some secret secrets which are unknown to you, and now they are coming out, and now you have to deal with it. And that is basically disturbing your peace of mind as well, right? And another thing is that the dynamics of the money, or of the dynamics related to your income, your savings, your money matters, all of those things are also going to change completely, either for good or bad. That is dependent upon your second and eighth house placement. All right. Now, next week, but there are definitely a lot of lessons attached to these situations, right? And now, next we have the zodiac sign of Leo. For Leo individuals, we have Rahu transiting in the seventh house in Dhanishta. As I said earlier as well, Rahu coming into Dhanishta, whether it's Capricorn, whether it's in the sign of Aquarius, a person has to deal with problems with their relationships. See, Dhanishta is a nakshatra which makes you take an oath, which makes you be a loyal person. You would do anything, right? But you would never be a disloyal person. You're so protective, you're so fiercely nurturing. I was mixing two words. But you will always refuse to cheat. You'll always refuse to be a disloyal person. But when Rahu comes into this energy, either you go opposite to this energy of Dhanishta, or you become too aggressive towards the quality of this nakshatra. So either you choose to involve kind of manipulation, kind of cheating, or hiding certain facts when it comes to Rahu is coming into the Nishta, or you'll be very strict, very disciplined about, you know, not accepting, not forgiving any sort of infidelity, any sort of cheating coming your way, right? But definitely, this Rahu in the Nishta is going to be troubling your spouse. It is going to be troubling your marriage. It is going to be troubling your relationship for Leo individuals. I think there are certain issues in regards of your relationships and in regards of issues related to the life of your partner also, which can arise, right? And you will have to deal with those disturbances. So Rahu coming into Dhanishta, either your partner chooses to go beyond their way and you will feel that as if you are being deceived, or it will be you who is going to, be the one to choose deception. Either you are the one deceiving or you are the one who is not forgiving the deception at all. But it's time for you to bring in structure into your relationships. There has been, like, because of the presence of Ketu in the first house, you went from a reactive person to a very calmer person because you understood your lessons behind it, you took your realizations behind it. Now you have again, you are going to be again become a person who has to react, who has to be present there and show the other individuals, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your spouse, or whether it's anyone who is opposite to you. You need to show them that this is your boundary and you cannot over benefit from me. All right. So now the next and the last one is Virgo. So for Virgo individuals, we have Rahu in the sixth house in Dhanishta. So there can be some disturbance that you will experience within your workspace, especially if you are working in corporates. Definitely, you're going to experience certain disalignment within your workspace, with your colleagues. There can be, you actually are going to find out about hidden enemies, And because you find out about those hidden enemies, you're going to deal with that enmity. You're going to deal with that competition. So this Rahu's transit in Dhanishta shows me that there is a lot and lot of back and forth, lot of disturbance that you're going to deal with in your daily life. You're going to take huge risks of your of debts as well, or it's like that you have already taken huge risks of debts. Now you are to bring the structure into your finances, bring the structure into your debts, into your conflicts, into your competition, into your any sort of obstacle, even the obstacle of your health. Your health would definitely need your attention, right? Along with that, there's a lot which is going to go ahead with your career, with your daily routine life, and with your job scenario. For Virgos who are into jobs, you definitely are going to have the hardest time within the environment. It's like unnecessary thing, one after another, unnecessary politics, one after another, unnecessary retaliation, reactions that are coming that are coming your way in the sixth house. All right. So although this Rahu is coming into an Upacha house, and that is in Dhanishta, at the same time, it is giving you such immense courage and smartness to protect your wealth, to protect yourself as well, and to fight back. But the thing is that first it is going to be introduced. Only after that you will be able and you will acknowledge it and you will be able to fight about it. And there can even be certain legal troubles or legal struggles that you might have to go through and take care of. All right. So, guys, this was my analysis regarding Rahu's transit into the nakshatra of Dhanishta. I hope this helps and gives you good insights into this topic. We'll meet you with the next video. Bye bye. Take care.